Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you? I'm just trying to get this set, so I'm like, where do you see? It just stops like right here, yeah?
Yeah, perfect.
Cool.
All
Yay!
right. Yes, finally.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Let me scoot this. Oh, there we go. Cool.
You good?
Yes. Well,
Okay. So I guess we should start by introducing ourselves. Um,
sounds good.
yeah, so I'm Shiksha Maithani. I'm Bollygirl, and I'm excited to be here with Carrie Lane. Carrie?
What's up? My name is Carrie Lane, and I'm super excited to talk about this movie with you and talk about Bollywood because I love Bollywood. So,
Yes. You're a hardcore fan. I love that.
I've definitely surprised many people by how many I've seen. I'm like, no. I mean, I have a type that I like more than others. I mean, I'll be honest, I like the more feel good or super action. But I can appreciate all of them, even some of the really bad ones.
Yeah, I think with Bollywood, the way that it works is if you like the actors, then you like the movie. And I
Yeah.
don't know if everybody would agree with me, but like Shah Rukh Khan's my favorite actor, so even if he's in a terrible movie, I'm gonna enjoy it just because of him. So, I think that's just kind of how Bollywood works.
Oh yeah, no, it's 100% that if you like the actor, you'll see the movie and you're just like, well, I watched it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then as we were talking, some of them can have, the plot or the movie overall is kind of so-so, but they have amazing songs, or vice versa. The songs are meh, but the movie's really good. Or you're just like, I want more songs because I love having the song and dance numbers.
Yes. Well, the thing with Bollywood too is that the songs make or break the movie. So, I mean, that's the core of the Bollywood movie industry is the music, right?
Yeah,
And that's what they use to promote all the Bollywood movies is the music. That's what you'll hear first before the movies come out. And if you
yeah,
like the songs, then you want to see the movie. Um, that's just the way the industry works. Hollywood does not work that way. That is specific to Bollywood.
yeah.
Right? Which luckily Kapoor and Sons had great music. So
Oh yeah.
that definitely helped, which I guess is a great segue. What did you think of the movie overall?
Overall, I enjoyed it. I don't necessarily think, and this is all our just opinions, everybody, and opinions, it's okay to differ them. It doesn't
Yeah.
mean anything against the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, overall I thought it was like fine. Like it's a solid B plus movie in terms of I wasn't wowed and I wouldn't necessarily rush to recommend it, but I enjoyed it. And
Okay.
I had seen the item song before on YouTube and I had really enjoyed it. And the overall plot of the movie is really good, but is it one I would necessarily rush to watch again?
Mhm.
But
Not so
overall,
much.
it's solid. It was a solid, but not like let's watch it again.
Okay, I hear that. I like how you use the term item number. That is so appropriate because that's just what we call it. But yeah, I would have to agree with you. This was not my favorite Bollywood movie at all. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. I saw it 4 years ago when it first came out, and I just genuinely just didn't remember it. And I think maybe it's because I didn't like it that I looked it out. The thing is, though, I love the music in the movie. I love the actors in the movie, and they did a great job acting. But I had a couple of issues with the plot lines, and I know that we're going to get into that in a minute here. But I think that that was my main problem with this movie, was the way they handled certain issues.
Yeah, we'll get into that. I don't think I had a problem with that. I just didn't feel it really grabbed you enough to be that kind of memorable
Mm-hmm.
or I mean, they didn't go too melodramatic on some topics, which is good, and I'm glad they addressed certain topics as well, but it was just like, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it
And
was
then
just
for a scene like I really enjoyed that is not necessarily a big deal, but I like the cinematography of it. I like the creativity. I liked it showing the relationship is the graveyard date scene.
oh yes, yeah, that was
That was really cool.
yeah, that was
And
good.
like plucked from it itself, I'm like, that was really great, but you know, it's like,
no, there were definitely good moments
yeah.
in the movie. It just overall wasn't my favorite and not one I would necessarily recommend. Guys, if you're watching, make sure to put in the comments whether or not you like this movie and join in the conversation.
And we're being pretty spoiler free right now, but we're gonna get into spoilers, so just so you know. But I don't, except for like the reveals later, I don't feel anything was shocking.
Yeah, nothing too. There was just the one thing that was shocking. Other than that, the movie was pretty predictable.
Yeah, you wasn't surprised of, but
yeah.
Or some things. And then thinking of it as a movie to recommend to people who've never watched Bollywood before, I feel anybody who's never seen like a Bollywood film could still enjoy this film. There were maybe a couple moments that have specific cultural and like film history references, but it's kind of nice at home because you could look them up, like the music video that they talk about or that song with the grandpa. I went and looked it up, but they show you in the movie.
Yeah.
So that was nice that if you didn't know what they were talking about, they still had a segment of it. But looking it up, I was like, oh, this is rather racy.
Yeah.
And then the moment with the dad with the hat and the scarf, I'm like, oh, I know a reference to that because of Shah Rukh Khan movie.
Oh, wait. That with the hat.
When he's doing the old Bollywood movie reference where he's wearing the like old-fashioned hat and the scarf.
Yeah.
And it's similar to in Robney Bonadi Jodi and their item number when they're doing like all the Bollywood scenes.
I didn't make that connection. Good for
you. Oh, it totally is. It's this scarf and he's like doing the dance thing.
God. Good
but catch. You wouldn't. Oh, thank you. I feel a regular viewer wouldn't feel at a loss for not knowing that, but I feel they like it. We are talking about Kapoor and Sons. Hello, Ritu. We have a few other people joining us. Hello, everybody. So I thought that was a really cool reference. But again, you wouldn't be like confused. You would just be like, oh, they're doing a cute family thing.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely. Although I wouldn't necessarily recommend this movie to somebody who's never seen Bollywood before, because even though they would be able to follow the storyline, I just don't see this as a great introductory to Bollywood.
No, yeah, I'd be like, go watch this first.
No, because, the first impressions do matter.
Yes, absolutely.
And if this is the first movie that they see for Bollywood, I just feel like it would leave a bitter taste in your mouth.
Yeah.
It wouldn't really give you the right impression.
Yes.
Right? So,
yeah, no, because... Yeah, go ahead.
No, yeah, that was it, basically. I have a list of other movies I recommend for.
Yeah, which you have a nice top 10, so everybody go watch that.
I do, yes. Thanks for mentioning that, I do. Okay, so let's get into...
Yeah. So spoilers now, people. Spoilers. But don't worry, it's not that big of a deal.
I think one of the biggest plot lines was the gay brother, and the way that the whole issue was handled, poorly but realistically, I think, based on the Indian family. What were your thoughts on it?
I'd go with the disappointed but not surprised of how the family reacted.
Yes.
I was actually more disappointed in his brother being like, you know what? I need a minute. I was like, really, bro? Come on.
Well, he was dealing with his own issues at the time,
But this is true. Also, I would add that the younger brother maybe is having to put that new information in context with everything he's known about his older brother. And maybe that might shift on how he remembers certain things and other behaviors. So then I was like, all right, because he goes, I need some time. But I'm like, well, maybe if you knew something new about your family member, you'd look back on previous experiences and know that. I liked how they subtly introduced it as a concept, because I think pretty early on I was like, he's gay.
Really? You guessed it?
Oh, yes, because they say partner. They never show the person. They never show the person on the phone call. It's that really in trying to avoid it, it was so obvious. But I think that's good for some audience members because either you're going to pick up on it right away or you will be like, oh. But I was like, nah, he's that's why he didn't care on the kiss because he didn't kiss her back.
For me, it was the moment. My gaydar's never been great, to be honest. So I wasn't surprised that I didn't catch that. But you're right, they did kind of subtly throw that in there. It wasn't so obvious. But I was surprised when it happened because I was worried that the brothers were going to be pitted against each other, not just for this story, which we'll discuss, but also for the girl. And I was like, this movie, they're putting brothers against each other for 2 reasons. I was so unhappy with that. But, you know, at least that part worked out.
Yeah, well, you know, also it's one of those, like, I don't want to be like the feminist perspective, but it's like the 2 guys going for the prize of the female. Mm-hmm. I like that it conveniently pivoted one of like, don't worry, he doesn't care about that at all. He just got along with her really well because it's like having the gay best friend, and that's how they were able to bond so well.
Yeah.
They were able to bond so well and it not be predatory. Because you know the other thing too, I don't know about you, or maybe it's just my thing. She's alone with these guys in a lot of situations. I'm like, these are rather precarious situations, young lady, and you are completely alone with these strangers.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like that's not so hard to believe if you were in Mumbai, but they were not in Mumbai. She was living in Mumbai and she was visiting. So maybe she's just used to that way of life. But
small town.
But in smaller towns of India, I just don't see that to be as realistic. You know, people are so much more careful than that. Girls are way more careful than that. Mumbai just happens to be one of the safer cities in India, so that wasn't that realistic. That was just for the movie. You know,
it's fine. It wasn't a big thing. I just had my moments of like when she's in the basement alone, I was like, I really don't want this to go a bad. And I'm like, oh, okay, good.
Yeah, no, I agree. But just going back to the gay brother and that whole situation, the mother and her reaction, I just felt like that was such a realistic way to react, unfortunately. But I will give props to Bollywood because in the last 2 years, they've released 2 big gay themed movies. And in both movies, they've handled it really well. So I think that, you know, this movie came out 4 years ago, and I think that Bollywood's showing the issue of gayness and with the laws being changed in India as well, I just think that it's pretty cool that things are changing because people depend on Bollywood so much for their points of views and the way that they should look at things, and Bollywood has that kind of a power, so I think that it's pretty cool that they're changing that, you know, because they showed the mother accepting him at the end of the movie, but not fully.
Yeah, no, I appreciated that because it's one of those, it's an unfortunate reaction, but even I think in that reaction for moms could happen in any community. It could happen in like rural South in the USA with white community or, you know, a Desi community. It doesn't really matter if that's a belief they don't have, they could be like, meh, and be upset about it. So I like her realization that she has to include her son. Otherwise, she's so alone. So it's going that direction of like, okay, she maybe isn't like, I totally accept it and understand it, but she's like, I don't want you out of my life.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, I can buy that in like baby steps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was more for herself, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, I think it was more like she understands of like, okay. And then she also realizes she's no saint either with how much she messed up her youngest son's life.
Which is a great segue into our next topic, which is the mother and her decisions. What were your opinions on that?
It's sadly the parent who goes, oh, well, I was doing the best for my child, but it's like, really? Were you? You know what, though? I'm kind of glad that was the plot line. I was worried the brother was stealing the script.
Yeah, me too.
So I'm kind of glad that the brother just he didn't steal the idea. It was given to him a different way. So I was like, I'm kind of like, that would have been more dramatic that the brother stole the second novel too, and be like, oh no.
Which I was scared that's where they were going with this.
Yeah,
honestly.
Same.
Yeah. So you were surprised that it was the mom in the end?
I was kind of like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I wasn't like a shocker, but it goes, oh, and I liked it better. And it makes sense that the mom tells it, and then also that's why maybe it's different, because then it's that game of telephone, and her unfortunate, or her rather lame excuse of like, well, you kept changing what you wanted to do.
Yeah. Okay. That was so lame. So for me, I think that this was the biggest shocker in the movie for me. And it wasn't like the biggest shocker in the world either, but it was the biggest moment for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was so upset by this, because how can the mother do that to her own child? You know, first of all, she didn't just steal the idea from one son and not support him and give it to the other son. She also pitted them against each other for how many years was it? They were just against each other.
Their whole lives, probably.
Yeah, and then when the father was always down on the younger son and telling him how he's useless and worthless, the mother didn't stick up for him then either. So what kind of a mother is she? That was horrible. Okay, and to think that there could ever be a mother like that is so depressing to think about, you know? Which I know that there are mothers like that, but it's so upsetting to think about, and to see it on screen like that was just so upsetting. And you're right, I think that it was better that it wasn't the brother who actually stole the story, but the mother shouldn't have been the one either, you know? Like, it's your mother.
But you know what, too? With how many of the secrets are getting revealed in the movie, it is that moment of like, what's her secret? She can't be perfect. And then it was like, oh, that's what her mistake is that she made, her secret that she hasn't told. So I knew something was coming, but I wasn't quite sure. So I'm like, she can't be perfect in all this, and everybody else made these bad choices. The other thing about it that's unfortunate is essentially, you are a response of what happens to you in your life, but essentially she has changed the direction of the youngest son's life because he didn't get that book sold, didn't make money from it, and didn't become successful. And it's like, you didn't just take a book away from him. You completely changed his life. And that was, definitely upsetting for me of like, do you understand how much that has affected him as an individual and grown into an adult and everything? It's like, whew.
Yeah.
But, and she doesn't even really feel sorry about it. Oh, actually, I was one for you. Did you have a moment? I thought the youngest son was an affair the mom had. Because, like, the way the youngest one is treated so poorly, I'm like, oh, did the mom cheat on somebody? It's not really the dad's son, and that's why he's so mean.
That didn't actually cross my mind.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think for me it was more like, oh, the mother was painted as this perfect person, and she just was like a saint throughout the whole movie, and then all of a sudden she's the most evil one, you know? Yeah. And then and then it was like, okay, let's forgive her because we need to be a family and be all together. But did she really do anything to deserve it?
And I don't think she's really sorry for what she's done, but I don't think she understands the gravity of what she's done. Yeah, no, the scene where I thought maybe he was like an illegitimate child was like the first kind of or argument where he storms out of the house. And I will say, which was one thing I guess I should have mentioned at the beginning, Netflix's subtitles on this movie were not so good. They went by super fast.
Yeah.
There were multiple times the subtitle would be missing, so you had to rewind, redo that moment again, and then it would be there.
Was a 4.
I didn't even notice that one, but you'd be like reading so fast. So that's the other reason not to show this to somebody as their first movie, because it's like, oh, I'm used to reading subtitles, but damn, this movie was just like, wait, what? Hold on, we got to rewind, do that again. But I do like that the songs had subtitles, because not every Bollywood movie has subtitles on their songs. So I was like, well, at least the songs have subtitles.
That's true. I think 70% of the time they do. But there is that 30.
It might depend, too, on if it's in theaters or on streaming, because I know when I've seen them in theaters, there's been some songs that do not have subtitles. But it could be now with more on streaming, they might add them later.
Yeah.
Possibly.
No, but yeah.
But yeah, no, not a lot, but enough that it's been like, well, I'm not reading. I'm just gonna watch the dance and what visually is happening.
Yeah. No, you're right. The subtitles were pathetic. They truly were.
Yeah.
Whoever did it did not do a good job. But the apostrophes that were fours was bothering me because, like, instead of it apostrophe s, it was it for s. You know, and it was for all of the apostrophes. It was troubling. But anyway, okay. So going back to the mom and the fact that she was not cheating on her husband, but her dad, the dad was cheating. So let's talk about the cheating dad for a minute. Did you think that he was cheating in the beginning when the mother was blaming him?
It's that thing where I was curious what happened to make her think this. So I was kind of curious of like what's going on, like why does she think that? It's too bad because he was either it's the script or the acting or all the above, but I felt he was a very unlikable character for a lot of the movie. And I wish he had been a little more likable, that we could have been like the oldest and been like, no, he never would do that. Instead of like, oh, yeah, I'm not surprised he did that.
We didn't get much of his story.
No, not much at all. And just the way they had him as a character, he was just very like, I am grumpy dad. So he wasn't very, you didn't care, you know, you're just like, all right, well, he's just mean. I disagree with his, I was going there to break up towards the end, because I'm like, dude, why are you sitting on the bed in the bedroom? I thought he would have gone outside and his son would have met him at the car. Like the way he was standing by the car, I thought like, okay, dad's going to come outside, intercept the son, and the son they'll have the confrontation there. So I'm like, you are not.
One last hookup.
And on that day, I'm like, dude, you couldn't wait till tomorrow or something.
Yeah.
I thought I was like, ah.
Yeah, no, the dad, the only time that they showed him having any likable personality
at the party
was at the end when he tried to make up with his wife.
Yeah.
And they were in bed and he was lovingly talking to her. But that was the only, and that was right before he died.
Yeah.
Right. So throughout the entire movie, you don't really care about the father. It's like, whatever. He seems like a really mean guy. Bollywood tends to portray these really angry, mean fathers a lot. So I think that was just in line with Bollywood. But I didn't feel much for the dad at all. And when he was cheating, it was like, oh, that sucks. And then the mom kind of deserved it in the end. Is that mean to say? I mean,
well, I almost felt, I almost wondered, and I almost would have wanted her to say, I knew it, you know, because if you think they're doing something and then when you finally get that validation of, yes, they were, then she's not like, oh, I was crazy. Be like, no, you were right. But we don't really even get that moment where she's just like, oh, I knew it. You know, so I'm like.
Yeah. Did you feel like the movie had too many problems in one place? Like they were trying to deal with so many different kind of issues?
You mean a Bollywood movie throwing multiple plot lines into one movie and just kidding, here's a new problem? And like, we're almost done with the movie and surprise?
Okay, fair enough. No, but like...
I mean, it's one of those, everybody had their dysfunctional thing, and it's the standard thing. If they actually communicated with each other, which apparently nobody really does, a lot of these problems would have been solved. And, you know, like, they could have handled it all better, and they didn't. So it's unfortunate but that's sometimes how life is.
That is, yeah, and that's our next topic is the family and just all the decisions that were made overall as a family. And I think you're right. They each had their own problem that they were dealing with, but I almost felt overwhelmed with all the different ridiculous issues. Like you have movies about cheating, you have movies about being gay, you have movies about all these other things, and they try to jam pack all of it into one movie. So if they'd even chosen 2 topics to deal with, I think it would have gone a little bit better because we were disconnected from the dad, so we didn't really care. The brother didn't get the ending he deserved. Neither brother got the ending that they deserved. It was just, there were a lot of different things that it was just kind of halfway.
Yeah, I think the brothers both get like a better ending though when they get the message from their grandpa of like, hey, but it definitely isn't like a happy ending, and I don't necessarily think they should be forgiving their mom, but I feel like, Mom, we have an important chat we need to do. Like, that's something that he's having, but that's not going to be part of it.
Yeah.
Is there a lot going on? Yes, but it's that idea that we don't know what's going on in people's lives, so I think there could have been better ways. Like, I wish the dad had been more likable so that we feel betrayed by the betrayal. As it was, we go, oh, well, that's too bad. Yeah. But if he had been someone that we're like, oh, no, that would have made it a stronger impact.
Yeah.
And then the youngest brother, I felt he wants this attention and validation, but he acts like such a drama baby that I'm like, guess what? Explain to people what you're feeling and say words. They're called words. They express what you're thinking and feeling. Half of that drama wouldn't be explained. Like when he comes back to the party and he's like, to the other brother because he kissed the girl.
Yeah.
Well, why? What's wrong? Nothing. You should know. And you're like,
okay, I agree with that in that specific moment he was being a drama baby. But overall, you had to sympathize with the youngest brother.
Yeah, no, he hasn't got the attention, but it's interesting because sometimes the youngest, gets most attention.
Yeah.
But I do think he is validative of he didn't have that much, and so we do sympathize with him more.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
You gotta feel bad for that guy, as you're watching it, it's just one blow after the other.
Yeah.
For him. And I think he's the one that you sympathize with the most out of all of them. Right? Because for a while you suspect the older brother of stealing the story. For a while you suspect the father of cheating. Then the mother has her own issue. So I think that he's the only one you're sympathizing with the most throughout the entire story. He's
the least, to blame for it all. Like he's the least at fault except for being, overdramatic.
Yeah, as I was watching with my sister and the entire time was like, the younger brother, he better be the one to get the girl. He better at least get the girl. Because it was just one thing after the another. Like, it was just really bad.
Because that was a moment, Alia tells him in the car, hey, I feel a character that expresses their feelings. Hey, I feel a connection to you. Do you feel that? And he's like, yeah, there's something going on here. I was like, oh, thank you. Thank you. They're making steps. They're making progress.
Yeah.
And I love her, and I love her character, and she's just so fun that it's like, you want to hang out with her, you'd want her to be your girlfriend.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So
she's great.
Fun fact is that the girl, Alia Bhatt, and then the younger brother, Sidharth Malhotra, started off their careers together in Student of the Year. So that was their first movie ever for both of them. And Varun Dhawan was a part of that. So it was three of their first movie to ever be made. They became really good friends on that set. And so it was nice to see them in another movie and to see them work so well together. Because they're almost like a pairing that you just kind of learn to love by watching Student of the Year. It's like, I feel like the three of them are like my childhood's version of Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. In a way, Kuch Kuch Hota Hai?
Yeah. No, I was going to say, I saw her first with Varun Dhawan, so I'm like,
okay, so
they're supposed to be together.
If we're going to do
it's who you see them first. Yeah.
Okay, if we're going to do a comparison, I would make it, like, if you're doing Shah Rukh Khan, Kajol, and Rani Mukherjee versus those three, it would be like Shah Rukh and Kajol are the Alia and Varun of today, and Sidharth Malhotra is like the Rani Mukherjee, which is like, they're a part of it, but they're not.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just my thought.
No, that's a good one. Well, I think it's interesting, and again, part of Bollywood is seeing people in other movies, and so how you're affected by that, because the older brother is Fawad Khan. Did I say it right? I'm like, what's the older brother's name in real life?
Oh crap.
I was like, wait, I had it. I had the music set, but well, the older brother, I'm like,
how am I not remembering?
I thought he's a con.
Oh, Fawad Khan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I saw him. I think the first time I saw him was in Kubsarat, and
Okay,
I loved
Kubsarat.
that one. And I like him better with a scruff. So, but he's a similar kind of character. He's generally very serious and very stoic.
Yeah.
So that was kind of interesting to see him first. And then the youngest brother, I saw him. I'm blanking on the name of the movie. It's the one where it's kind of It's a Wonderful Life, and he gets to see what his life would be like in the different stages of his marriage through the years.
Oh, what was it called?
But do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
that one?
yes.
And so he was okay in that one. And that one was another one where it's okay. Had good songs.
Was it Barbar Deko?
It might be. Yes. Yeah. Like that one had some cool songs and cool concept, but I think it's that movie. But anyway, it's interesting what you see them in first.
Oh, absolutely. So, talking about the actors, let's talk about Rishi Kapoor, who plays the grandfather. They made him look so much older than he
I didn't like his makeup. It looked so bad. I was like, oh man. I knew they were doing it to make him look older. But I go, wow, that person's wearing a lot of makeup. So I feel they could have done it in a way without it being so obvious. And then he gets those blue contacts later to be like old eyes. Like,
no, you didn't. I don't know. It didn't bother me. Was it the best? No, but it didn't bother me. I mean,
wait, Bollywood actors wearing colored contacts? Never.
Oh my god. But it didn't like trouble me. I knew that they were doing it to make him look super old. But I think that he acted phenomenally. He was so funny.
He was adorable.
He fit into the role so perfectly. So yeah, I really liked that. So last words with family. Let's talk about that for a second. I think that this movie definitely shows the importance of being careful about what you say and how you keep things with your family. What were your thoughts on the subject?
I think it was a nice, heavy topic to deal with, and it wasn't done too cliche cheesy, because we have the lovers talking about it in a more abstract way, like outside of the main plot line, like, oh, this happened to me, this is my family, and her breakdown of like, this is why I hate my birthday. So it was very like, oh, that sucks, and that's why she doesn't care about it, and that's why she's really pushing. Like, it doesn't, you should really mean what you say and say those things. I wasn't necessarily thinking someone's gonna die, but when everybody's leaving the party, I go, oh no, like, well, this isn't good. And then the sidecar, I'm like, oh. I was kind of hoping he would have just been in a coma and come out of it.
Yeah.
But then when I'm like, oh shit, he died.
Yeah.
But I think it's supposed to drive that point home of, like, you don't know how long you have with people, and so you shouldn't take them for granted, and that could literally be the last time you speak to them. Yeah.
No, you're right. They definitely did it subtly. That message was subtle, but very strong at the same time. I didn't expect the dad to completely be dead. I was like, oh, they went dark. Yeah, they did. Especially because the theme of the whole movie was getting that family photo, of Kapoor and Sons. Yeah. I was like, oh, can't you guys just take the darn photo? I know. It's like, right as they were about to leave, I'm like, just take the photo. Just take it and then move on. You know what, though? That's for real. I have definitely had that where you're going through your photos and people are not in them because they took the photo. So I am 100% like with group photos. I'm like, everybody is in this photo because it sucks later when you're like, where are you? You're not in the picture. Yeah, agreed. They took it and you're like, no, it just made me think of, did you see Waiting with... I want to say it's Kalki. Let me see. Waiting. Yeah, it's Waiting with Kalki Kulchan from 2015. No. Okay, it's a really good movie. If anybody needs to see it. But she, her spouse is in the hospital
like gets in an accident. He's in the hospital. So she's waiting there, and then she makes friends with a older gentleman who's a famous Bollywood actor too. And then I'll leave that as a surprise who it is. And he's waiting for his spouse in the hospital, and so they're both like waiting. And is their spouse going to die? And so they bond over that. And like that one's a heavy, but done really realistic. Like you'd think it'd be super depressing, but it's a really good one. So anyway, I was thinking, I'm like, oh, maybe the dad will nope.
Survive. The dad did not survive.
They went dark.
They did go dark. And I think that was what the writers thought. That was the push that the actors or the characters needed to move the story along. Do you agree that they needed that push, though, or could they have done it without killing them?
You don't want them to need that push, but they probably did.
I don't know. I don't necessarily think it was necessary. I don't think that the dad needed to be alive for his son's death. You know?
I think they maybe would have resolved their problems, but it would take in like years. Like they would have worked out the family issues, maybe because they were all making baby steps towards getting through some of these issues. Mm-hmm. But this like helped speed up the process.
You think so?
A little bit, but
it
made a lot come out in the open a lot faster. But then I think the grandpa hits it home of like, hey, you guys should spend time with your family because you don't know how long you have them.
Yeah. So do you think that he was right? Because, like, do you agree with the way that this movie ended in that the things weren't necessarily resolved, but they still all came together in the end? Because it wasn't really fully resolved at the end.
Yeah, no. I think it was good the sons went to visit their mom. I don't think they need to stay there, and I don't think they need to forgive her, but I think yet. Like I don't think they should hate her forever.
No, but she needs to prove she's sorry.
Yes, I think they need a conversation of like you need to understand how much this affected our lives, and do you know how much of damage you've done? Because I don't really think she does.
No, yeah. So. I think she was just feeling sorry for herself at the end.
Because now she's like, I'm all alone.
Mm-hmm. And then the grandfather was just trying to do his part so that they could all be together before he died.
Yeah.
But I was not satisfied with the ending. Let's say that.
Yeah, that's why it is like, okay. And she has her catering business, so yay.
But I don't feel good for her. I don't feel happy for her because
you're like, no.
I was so mad at her at that point. You know, I was just irritated and angry because she needed to do more to make it up to her sons, especially the younger one. So
what would have been cute is if she baked them some things that were like, I'm sorry. Like that would have been super cheesy, but that would have been kind of cute. Like they arrive and she like pushes the box over.
And it's like honestly, better than nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
You know? Yeah. So overall, I think that this movie was okay.
Yes, I feel it's okay. I feel it's you don't need to rush to see it.
And I wouldn't watch it again but
it's not bad. And I don't go into it thinking it's going to be feel good. Like it's more of a drama. Yeah.
It's upsetting. The movie's upsetting. It leaves you sad. It leaves you unsettled. At least it left me unsettled because things weren't fully resolved. I'm a sucker for a happy ending, and I didn't get it, you know? So
well, then it's that argument that some people say that they're tired of the Bollywood movies where it's like all happy and perfect and great. And so they're like, well, it's a nice, like more realistic one. But that's not why I watch a Bollywood movie. So that's why I'm like, ugh. Because if you scroll through the comments on like IMDb, this movie is very highly rated. A lot of people really like it. And they're like, oh, it's a really good family drama. And I think people gravitated toward the like, air quotes, realness of it. But I think it's not like, I think when you really enjoy Bollywood, it's not going to be at the top of any list.
No, I don't think so either. And I agree that it was a realistic ending. I'm not a big fan of your realistic endings, okay?
Yeah,
I'm just not, but I can appreciate why people enjoy them. That being said, I think it still would have been realistic for the mother to try and make amends,
Yes.
and to try to apologize and not just have her sons feel sorry for her and say, fine, we'll just forgive you because whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that still would have fallen into the realm of possibilities if they wanted to keep it realistic.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Overall, not my favorite. Yeah, let us know in the comments if you liked it.
What would you give it out of 10?
Do you really want to know?
Yes. Okay, well, let's do clarification. 10 is like, oh my gosh, this movie's amazing. 5 is like plateau neutral, and under 5 is bad.
Okay, I think I would give it a 3 then. A 3.
Wow.
I just didn't like it. I didn't. What about you?
It was like a 5. Like, it was, again, like, fine. But again, I went into it going, I didn't think it was going to necessarily be like happy-go-lucky movie. But I was all, it was fine.
It was fine. So you gave it a 5. I love the music in this movie, though. So
yeah. So that's what wins it over.
that's what takes it from a 2 to a 3 for me.
Yeah.
Is the music.
I was going to say,
sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, well, if you all can hear this, I have it on my tablet.
Yeah, I have them up too.
It was so good. And I'm like, yes, this makes me want to dance. I'm like, yay.
So
anyway.
You had the 3 great songs. You had Kar Gayi Chul. You had Let's Nacho. But I actually really like, and I'm going to make this my song of the day because I just love it and I can't stop listening to it, is Bolna. The softer, the lyrical song in the movie. I don't know if you remember.
What time was that? When was that one?
I'm just going to play it.
Oh, that one was a pretty one.
Oh, it's so good.
I actually really like the music at that like Asian food club, bar, restaurant place that I'm like, it was just what was playing on the discotheque. Yeah. And I thought they had at least 2 songs. I was like, where is this club?
I don't remember the second song, but I remember DJ Vale Babu because I love that song. And that's not a song from this movie. That's just it's in the background in the club. So I thought, I still was like, oh, I know that song. Yeah. Yeah, I know. But overall, I think the music was great, which definitely helped the movie.
And it looks great. It's very, like, well shot. Looks pretty. The characters, most of them, we like, but...
We like.
We've totally sold you on this movie, but...
Yeah. I feel like people watch this movie expecting more.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. All right. We'll choose a happier movie next.
Yes.
For the next one. All right. Well, thanks, guys, for watching.
Thank you, everybody.
Fun. Make sure to let us know, DM us if there's a specific movie you want us to talk about.
Yes.
Right? And
there we go.
Till then, I think we're going to do this on Sunday nights, right?
Yeah, we'll figure it long. We'll get some movies recommended. It has to be on Netflix or Amazon and not with a plug-in, not an extra.
Not Air Us Now. It's so misleading. It's so misleading.
Oh, I was like,
drives me nuts.
Ross, I love you and all, but I don't want to have to get an extra service. So there's some, and like,
I tried the free trial of Eros Now.
Yeah.
But, like, there were no subtitles available. So then I was like, what's the point,
Yeah.
That's where the industry is lacking. We don't have a proper, true streaming platform for all the Bollywood movies with subtitles.
There used to be one that was like, I don't even remember what it's called, but there was a website where you could watch them, and it wasn't pirated, but they had them like alphabetically, and then they just started getting laggy, and it didn't work anymore. If anybody remembers that site,
there are some that are just available in India, but I'm talking worldwide.
No, it was here. It was you could watch it here, and they just had a lot, and that's how I watched some other random ones.
I don't know which one you mean. Anyway,
I found a secret site. No, I don't know.
So then we'll stick to Prime and Netflix.
Yes.
All right.
So let us know.
Yes,
or we'll pick one or leave a comment. I'm curious. But I'm curious what people want to see. I want more feel-good movies right now. Either like super fun, over-the-top action, feel-good,
Okay.
Romantic that ends well. There's a lot of
Have
Bollywood
you
ones
seen
that
the Doom series?
oh yeah, those are
Okay.
awesome.
'Cause those are, well, Doom 2 is the best one.
That's the best one.
Yeah.
Third one goes dark. Third one goes heavy.
Third one was weird. That's the one with
it's a different tone.
Amir
Yeah.
Khan and Katrina Kaif, and it was just different and weird.
It's a very different tonal change.
Yeah.
Or like some of the period piece epics that maybe aren't feel good, but those are okay too. Because when they're like, oh, that was really cool and historical, those can be good because you're not necessarily like depressed, but it's not like fluff.
So like what, like Devdas or like Joda Akbar?
Oh, that's a heavy one. That's good though. But
Joda Akbar, okay. Joda Akbar was way too long for me. I don't know if have you seen it?
Yeah.
It's just so
That was
beautiful to watch because it has Hrithik Roshan and Aishwarya Rai, two of the most beautiful people in the world. So it's just like eye candy when you're watching that movie. But it was a little long for my liking. And I don't mind long movies.
A Bollywood movie being long?
No, I don't mind long movies. I genuinely I don't mind. I've grown up on it.
If it
that
feels long. Yeah, no, totally.
That was too much for me, honestly.
Yeah.
Then you have like the Sanjay Leela Bhansali, the trio, the Ram Leela, Bajirao Mastani.
Yeah. Well, here, we're going on a tangent on that, but we could keep talking suggestions for a while, so we'll keep thinking.
Forever and ever. Yeah.
People
so
leave comments, too.
DM us or comment and let us know. But until then, this was fun.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was good talking with you. And thanks for watching, everybody who joined in and watched live. And if you're watching it later, comment below, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
See ya.